Welcome to Fast Eddie's Records. Today we have a vinyl reveal. Sir Duke Ellington. This channel, as we follow the path of the jazz standard on the sunny side of the street, another great contribution, and another reason why this song is very important is because a character like Sir Duke Ellington arranged this song and played it throughout his entire career. I found these two records at Reckless Records. These are both live performances. One from Indiana in 1945, and the second from Paris in 1963. Duke Ellington, born 1899, which puts him 2 years older than Louis Armstrong, was given his nickname by his childhood friends because of his elegance and style. That seemed to carry with him his entire life. Duke Ellington, his contribution to jazz and music is unmatched. His elegance, his band leading skills, his piano playing are ineffable. They're undescribable in some ways, and his ability to have such a long-lasting career is a testament to his talent and his love for music. He loved music more than anyone. I heard his words, him talking about it, I've had interviews that I've posted on my page, which I will link to. When he talks about music, it's in a very esoteric way. It's a very deep way, and it comes through in his music. These two records, one in 45, one in 63, are different parts of his career. The one in 45 is a 6-minute long song, which we'll listen to, and the other one's a 3-minute long song. But so you can see the difference. You know, he played it live on the sunny side of the street. Clearly, it was an important song to him because it appears more than a few times recorded in his canon. But Duke Ellington, you know, the king of the Cotton Club, was the king of swing, was the king of jazz for his entire career. The thing that I'm going to think about with this Paris concert is, at the time, or just in general, Parisian listeners were very, very astute, and they knew a lot about the history of jazz. People were really, really into it, and by this time, they had a deep sort of connection to jazz. So all of our American artists that traveled over there, they went out of their way to make sure they stepped up their game and that their arrangements were on point and the solos were on point. So this first one, 1945, Indiana, looks like it's a state fair, and it was recorded from a radio station. It's produced by a guy named Dave Corin, and it's re-recorded and remastered by a guy named Cecil Spiller. It was put out by, let's see who puts it out. This record's put up by Fairmont, and I'll find out more about that label. So he's born in 1899. If this is 1945, he's 43. So he's pretty far in his career already. Duke Ellington was born in Washington, and that's where he got his start in music. He was a fine arts major. He was a good student. He was I know he from documentaries I've listened to or watched, he was accepted to the Pratt Institute. He was, but he turned it down to go into music. And his first band, he played piano, of course. And his first band was called the Washingtonians, and they played in Washington. Of course, they were very, very popular. He had a huge sound, and there was an elegance to everything he did. The way he looked, the way his band looked, the way he interacted with his band. And the soloist he picked on both of these, you have a character named Johnny Hodges on tenor that's featured, And I have we're gonna vinyl reveal more than Johnny Hodges records. I have 3 or 4, and he changed throughout time. That's what's nice about these records, is you see live or recorded how these artists changed over time, and how they took this one beautiful piece of music and they put their stamp on it, and they laid their track with this particular tune. So Johnny Hodges is featured in this song. It's an amazing rendition of "On the Sunny Side of the Street." The thing to note too on this, let's take a look at the second one here. So this one is recorded in Paris, 1963. It's a 3-disc set. The songs he records on this one are "Kind of Dirkish," "Rock and Rhythm," number 2, "On the Sunny Side of the Street," number 3, "Star-Crossed Lovers," "For All of Me," theme from "Asphalt Juggle," number 2, "Concert for Cootie." And that was another thing that Duke Ellington did. He wrote songs for and arrangements for his soloists. He's one of the first guys to do that. "Sweet for Thursday," "Misfit Blues," "Sweet Zerde," "Lay-By," and then side 3. Sorry, this is a 4-disc. It's "Perdido," "The Eighth Veil," "Rose of the Rio Grande," "Cop Out," "Bula," and then side 4 is I Am with Sam," "Happy-Go-Lucky Local," "Tone Parallel to Harlem." So after Washington, Duke went to New York City and became the king of swing in New York City. Like I said, he played in a place called the Cotton Club, which was the jazz spot. It was the most prolific jazz spot in New York City at the time, in Manhattan. But he played all over the place, state fairs, colleges, his entire career. And he was honored by everyone, honored by multiple presidents. He was given multiple honorary doctorates to universities and colleges. So he reached the highest level of an artist or a musician could in U.S. history. I mean, that's it. He is the top of the top. In an interview I saw with Oscar Peterson and Count Basie, which I've also linked to. I shared it in our I shared it on my channel. You'll see the interview with Oscar Peterson and Count Basie in the interview. In an interview, he asked, what's the main differences between your band and Count Basie's band? He asked Count Basie, what's the main difference between yours and Duke Ellington's? And he, with a smile, he says, "Class, all class." And he was kidding, because Count Basie, by all accounts, was a very classy guy, and we're going to get to his vinyl reveal as well. We've been pulling some amazing records on this channel. I can't wait to share everything that I've got so far. And we're starting with the majors. We're starting with the biggies. So we will get to Count Basie next, and Ella Fitzgerald, which is an amazing version of "On the Sunny Side of the Street." So class, he said, and I think that's what the Duke stood for. His entire career was just pure class, elegance, style, artistry at the highest level, and also at a very consistent level. His look, the way he talks about music, the way he plays the piano, class, elegance, style, and substance that is like I said, is unmatched in jazz. So I'm so glad that I found these 2 records. Let's give a listen.
Featuring the magic of the alto saxophone of Johnny Hodges and Lawrence Brown on the trombone. Listen to "Sunny Side of the Street."
So two vinyl reveals there, two amazing versions of that beautiful song. Um, as you can see in the second one, this of course, he by 1963 that band was dialed in. They were so professional. The soloist on this record, I forgot to mention Cat Anderson, Lawrence Brown, Harry Carney, Paul Gonslaves, Jimmy Hamilton, Johnny Hodges, Ray Nance, Russell Procope, and Cootie Williams. So yeah, both versions amazing. 1945, the recording, clearly was you can hear the live recording hadn't come as far as it did in 1963. So the tracking of this is a lot better. But the arrangement in the second one was really beautiful. It was very tight. In the first one, if you noticed, Johnny Hodges played many choruses, and so did the trumpet player. So in this one, it's very tight. Just Johnny Hodges throughout the entire thing. And by this time, again, Johnny Hodges is just so dialed in, and his solo in this song is just beautiful. It's just perfect. Every note. And then at the end, the stanzas, at the end, when they do that repeating stanza, and he's like doing that like a little rhythm vibe over it, it's just amazing how swinging that is, and just what that makes me feel like every time I could listen to that song over and over and over again. That's how you know it's great. And I can't wait to listen to the rest of both of these records, and really dig deep on these. I'll report back on what I find. So thanks for checking in for Fast Eddie's Records. Duke Ellington, the great. Thanks for checking in to Fast Eddie's Records. Please subscribe.